Dropping in over Tashkent, the first thing you notice piercing the clouds is a massive, metallic needle. It dominates the skyline, wrapped in a cold, brutalist steel aesthetic. This is the Tashkent television tower. Standing at exactly 375 meters, it required a massive construction effort that spanned from 1978 until its completion in 1985. This blueprint shows the engineering required to keep a structure that tall standing in a seismically active zone. The entire weight rests on a distinct tripod base and a dense steel grid, designed specifically to absorb and dissipate earthquake tremors. Built near the end of the Soviet era, the tower is a pure expression of technological dominance, a heavy, relentless push upward to prove what modern engineering could achieve. Stepping inside, the experience matches the architecture. High-speed elevators rush you up the core in seconds, offering a rapid, technology-driven ascent. This cross-section diagram illustrates the layout at the top. Visitors step out onto the observation deck around the 100-meter mark, sitting just below the koinot, a dual-level, rotating restaurant system. Everything up here is designed for quick consumption. You walk the perimeter, snap a few panoramic photos of the sprawling city grid, maybe grab a fast coffee, and head back to the elevator. But looking down at the streets from a 100-meter observation deck only reveals half of Tashkent's identity. To find the city's quiet core, you have to leave the clouds, ride the elevator back down, and physically plant your feet on the ground. Looking at this route map, the transition is surprisingly seamless. Starting near the Bottomzor transit station, it's only a short walk away from the base of the tower to reach our next destination. As you walk, the sensory environment completely flips. The mechanical hum of the street fades, and the harsh glare of the steel tower gives way to the soft light of dusk and the sound of flowing water. You arrive at the Memorial Park, situated directly along the banks of the Basu Canal. It's a grounded, intensely serene space surrounded by dense tree lines. Gone is the imposing concrete and steel. The architecture here relies on traditional craftsmanship, featuring intricately carved wooden pillars that wrap around a museum topped with a pair of vivid turquoise domes. Trading the high altitude for ground level naturally slows your body down. The environment stops demanding your attention and starts inviting reflection. The park opened between 2000 and 2002, shortly after Uzbekistan achieved independence. It was built specifically to reclaim and document historical traumas that had been suppressed for decades. This timeline charts 3 eras of suppression, starting in the 19th century with Russian colonization. Moving to the 1930s, it highlights the Soviet Great Purge, which eliminated local intellectuals. Finally, the 1980s Cotton Case tracks Moscow's extreme political suppression and agricultural exploitation. Just outside the museum sits an open pavilion by the water. Slender pillars hold up a single blue dome over a symbolic jade tombstone. It serves as a quiet, central mourning space for the victims of all 3 eras. Processing over a century of targeted erasure isn't something you can do quickly. The park requires you to walk slowly, sit by the water, and understand exactly what it cost for the culture to survive. At twilight, you get this single view. The glowing turquoise domes sit squarely in the foreground, while the massive TV tower looms behind them. This time allocation chart shows the practical difference. You might spend 45 minutes rushing to the top of the tower for photos, but you need up to 2.5 hours to properly absorb the weight of the museum grounds. The tower is a sprawling monument to ambition, built by former rulers to push the city's focus entirely toward the future. The Memorial Park is its necessary counterweight, a quiet, resolute anchor built by the newly independent nation to ensure the past is never buried again. To actually see Tashkent, you have to experience both. You scale the heights to see the scale of the city, and you walk the quiet paths below to understand its survival.